This is the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's news, Kyle Snyder sentenced to 85 years for murder. Jasper Engines and Transmissions acquires Diesel USA Group. And Indiana is still behind in crop planting, but percentages are good in DuBois County. Kurt Guxell sits in with sports. And on WJTS Inform, Jan Dugan, Purdue Extension educator, joins us. All this and more to come on the 18 WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. Kyle Snyder, the man accused of murdering 23-year-old Chloe Libahusen on January 11th of this year, has been sentenced to 85 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections for the crime. He has also been sentenced to 6 additional years in prison for pleading guilty in an earlier case of unlawful possession of a firearm by a violent felon. This gives Snyder a total of 91 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections system. Jasper Engines and Transmissions is growing once again after acquiring Diesel USA Group Incorporated. The Diesel USA Group, headquartered in Louisville, will remain a separate company and brand as it becomes part of the Jasper ESOP. From their locations in Louisville, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Crown Point, and Fontana, California, the Diesel USA Group is a distribution, service, and repair company servicing air and fuel products for gas and diesel engines, along with a variety of other complementary products. The transaction was completed on May 31st. The current leadership team at Diesel USA Group will continue to lead and operate the company. Diesel USA Group and Jasper will operate independently of each other as they work together as part of Jasper Holdings Incorporated. This acquisition further diversifies the brands of Jasper Holdings Incorporated. Jasper Engines is the nation's largest remanufacturer of drivetrain components with 5 manufacturing locations, 2 distribution centers, and 47 nationwide branch locations. Even though the percentages for crops planted in the state has increased since last week, the Purdue Extension Office says the state is still below average. According to Kenneth Eck, an educator at the Purdue Extension Office in DuBois County, as of Sunday, the numbers have increased in the past week.
As far as corn planting goes across the state, Indiana, as of Sunday, was 67% planted for corn, 2/3 of the crops planted for corn. As far as soybeans go, the state average, 42% of the soybeans have been planted across Indiana.
These numbers are nearly doubled from last week. We are still below the average. The 5-year average for corn is 98% and the average for soybeans is 89%. According to Eck, the crop percentages for DuBois County are nearly the same as last week, with 85% of the corn planted and 75% of soybeans planted for the county. Eck explains why the state saw the big increase within a week.
It's just a matter of the farmers. If many of the farmers would get out at daylight and run till midnight, and they were able, there were some farms in DuBois County that they literally planted an entire farm in a single day because of everybody is out there planting at the same time for that family just to get it in.
With the soil already saturated and more rain in the forecast for this weekend, it makes planting much harder for farmers.
Southern Indiana could be getting between 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next 7 days, which is going to just pretty well stop anything else corn and soybean related because we're already in moist soil conditions, which do not allow for the proper placement of the seed, which means that your crop won't come up right and do what you want to do.
Some farmers may not be able to get their crops in at all. Ken Eck says there is another option.
If the farmers decide they're not going to plant, they can go in and sign up for a program that will give them a partial payment on that ground to let it sit idle for a year, and just because they're not going to get to it all.
For information about the crops planted, go to the National Agricultural Statistics Service. This programming note from 18 WJTS. The Veterans Memorial dedication will be aired this coming Friday and Sunday. The memorial, located on the north side of Ferdinand, was dedicated Memorial Day, and WJTS was on hand to record the event. WJTS TV will air the Veterans Memorial dedication from Ferdinand Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, following the local news, and again on Sunday, June 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Synergy Partners is donating $1 for every delivery made with their Delivering for a Cure branded LP truck in the Posey and Gibson County areas to Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society. Synergy began distribution of LP on June 1st of this year with the newly branded Delivering for a Cure truck. This campaign will run through the end of May 2020. The Delivering for a Cure branded LP truck can make up to 5,000 deliveries a year. Synergy provides quality energy products and services. CEO of Synergy Partners, Kim Higginson, says Synergy is pleased to partner with the Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society to provide monetary donations to aid in their efforts to lead the fight for a world without cancer. Higginson continued by stating that receiving a cancer diagnosis can be an overwhelming experience, and they recognize the need to provide funding to the American Cancer Society to help empower those touched by cancer to navigate the often complicated path to finding the best care available. To schedule a home or business LP delivery by the charitable Delivering for a Cure Synergy truck, contact Jeff Owens, that is, at 812-315-0552, extension 703. Earlier this week, Indiana State Police Detective Shane Staggs arrested Israel Quackenbush, age 37 of French Lick, for one-count obstruction of justice, a level 6 felony. Quackenbush's arrest stemmed from a previous investigation led by Detective Shane Staggs, where former Springs Valley school teacher Carrie Buchanan, age 42, West Baden Springs, was arrested for possession of child pornography for allegedly having inappropriate communications with a juvenile Springs Valley High School student in December of 2018. Buchanan was also recently arrested again on June 5, 2019 for obstruction of justice, one count, a level 6 felony, invasion of privacy, one count, a class A misdemeanor. Quackenbush's arrest was the result of his involvement in aiding Buchanan in communicating with her original juvenile victim earlier this month via cell phone, at which point Buchanan attempted to persuade the victim to change their statement to the Orange County Prosecutor's Office, subsequently obstructing the investigation. Quackenbush was incarcerated at the Orange County Jail before being released on a $1,005 cash bond. A southwestern Indiana man has been sentenced to 2.5 years in jail for allegedly killing and burning his girlfriend's or his ex-girlfriend's 2 dogs. Jordan Hunt was sentenced Monday after a Pike County jury convicted him in May of felony domestic violence animal cruelty. The Hazleton man was arrested last September after police say he entered the Evansville home of a woman he had formerly dated and stole, shot, and burned her golden doodle and pit bull lab mix. Their burned remains were found about 40 miles north of Evansville. Deputy Prosecutor Sarah Christensen told jurors during Hunt's trial that he intended to hurt his ex-girlfriend after she told him their relationship was over. Christensen told jurors that he knows what her entire world is. It's her 2 dogs. Now stay tuned. Weather, sports, and inform. Featuring Jan Dugan, Purdue Extension educator for Du Bois County. All still to come on 18 WJTS News.